All aboard your tech news, games, and deals caboose. We have some Facebook auction style testing and some Zelda fan remakes coming up. And we got a bunch of tech news, so let's jump in. Economists calculate the true value of Facebook to its users in new study. So this is actually two studies that were kind of combined into one. One of the studies went over the social value of a year, and then the other study was kind of like 3 to 7 days, kind of more short term. And here's the actual study, and here's the 4 authors. So you can check out the whole thing if you want to read in depth. But basically what we have is the value you place on something isn't what you pay for it. It's what you would be willing to pay for it. Say it got taken away. So we have some actual testing they did. But for first, basically they practiced with people, with participants, and they kind of gave an idea of like, they would say, for example, they would do bid auctions, and the lowest bidder would actually have to take off their shoes. Say they were bidding to take off their shoes for money that day. So they would have to take off their shoes and actually go around the day without shoes, and how much is that worth? And the lowest person who bid would actually have to do that. Some people would actually back out after a while, like they didn't want to do it anymore, but they actually were trying to get real world situations for this to work in. So they actually did a bunch of auctions with a bunch of participants, and they did Facebook. So for the first test, for like an auction 1, they did a single day. So the lowest and second lowest bids, they did different style bidding. So it was worth $4.17 for 1 day of deactivating your Facebook account, and for 3 days, $13, and for a whole week, $37. And if you calculate that out to a year, that's $1,500 to $1,900. And these people were actually paid money, $37 and $4. So they also tested with students for $2,000 roughly, where adults only needed about $1,100. So we got different numbers there. Pretty interesting stuff to see how much people would actually need to be paid to not use their Facebook for basically a whole year, $1,000 on average. Pretty crazy. How much would it cost someone to stop playing Fortnite for a whole year? Some people get pretty addicted to that. So again, the whole study is right here from PLOS 1. We also have Jiffy Cat with GIFs and adding sound to their GIFs. Is that even a GIF anymore? If it actually adds sound, because that sounds more like a video to me. Pretty interesting. So you can actually go and upload your own GIFs. You can just post a video file from like YouTube or upload your own. And you actually have to sign in or log in to add the little sound button for Jiffy Cat. And you can add sound to your GIFs. Pretty cool. This also gets transcoded into WebM and MP4, and later iterations will have separate files, separate audio files. So GIFs are evolving for Jiffy Cat. We also have activity trackers from Mogi for cats. So this is to help with cat tracking health. So in the video, they kind of go over a couple of the questions, like they talk about activity, diseases are related to 80% of movement for cats. So this could potentially save your cat months ahead of time, because cats generally, they were talking about how they won't really show severe signs until it's almost too late, like within the last little while. So, but you could get months ahead of time of finding out different kinds of, if your cat's getting water once a day was an example, going to the bathroom 3 times a day, compared to the different jumping motions. It could actually see maybe it's not jumping as normally. So different stuff from that, and that looks like it's coming soon. They have the models made and they're just going for manufacturing, it sounded like at the end. So if you are looking for cat activity trackers, get ready for Mogi. And we also have Elon Musk with Europe Superchargers for Teslas. This is a couple of tweets we got to see from Elon saying 100% of Europe next year from Ireland to Kyiv, from Norway to Turkey. So you'll be able to supercharge your car, Tesla car. And I believe it works for other cars if the other manufacturers implemented it. I'm pretty sure it's like open source. And there's a couple other questions about answers from major highways in Texas will all have superchargers. For the US, across Mexico as well. So cool stuff for supercharging your car. We also have Instagram briefly switched to a horizontal feed and people freaked out. So you got to swipe to see one story at a time basically. So people probably weren't super happy for that. And it was actually mentioned this was a bug. It was meant to be not rolled out so widely at first. So it was kind of being tested, but not to the degree of how many people got pretty upset on Twitter. So it's been reverted now, so you can swipe normally, scroll down through the news feed, and you're good to go again, unless you're that selected few or still being tested, I guess. And that leads us into some game news. We have The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time on Unreal Engine 4. This is a fan remake. If you want to get back into the Nintendo 64 days and your favorite Zelda game. We have some video. Let's check this out. Here's the intro screen. You can downsample in 4K or best performance. You have 3 different areas you can go to in a story mode. So Temple of Time, the village, the forest, you can run around. You can fight monsters. You can run around, collect stuff. You can go in stores. Here's a little animation at the beginning. Here's some of the graphics, pretty good. Or I think we're in a fairy field of view right now. And then inside we get some running around. We get a little bit of action at 5:50. Here's a store. And just a little bit of action at 8:40. I definitely want to buy that shield. And we get some bigger monsters at 12:39. Check this out. Pretty cool if you want to get back into your Nintendo 64 days, but with way better graphics. Bam, bam. So just one game story today. So that is your tech news games and no deals today, sadly. We have a couple comments saying, hey, I'm from Ireland. Get ready for your supercharging, sir. And now I need to buy a Tesla. Okay, you need a Tesla first. Now my cat is a virtual game. Well, it's an app, so you can track your cat's health. So your cat will live longer, possibly, through your tracking. So you can check back tomorrow for another live stream if you didn't know, because we do live streams at 3 p.m. Pacific every day. You get your tech news and games. And with that, we will sign out for today. Pew pew, pew pew pew, pew pew.